After you.
Thank you. Hello, how are you guys today?
I don't see myself.
Oh, that's because there's a delay. Here. Hi, bye. There you go. Okay. Sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry about that. Hi.
Hi, audience. Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much for being here. And hi, how are you doing?
Well, I should be thanking you. You're my producer and co-host. So thanks, Heather.
So tell me, what's been new with you lately? Anything interesting? Anything new?
So I visited my mom over the weekend, and she lives in Orange County, and saw some friends there and my cousins, and had a fun time. And
a family reunion.
A little family reunion. Just my two cousins and their significant others.
That's cool.
But yeah. So, but yeah, not too much. Work has been pretty busy. So. You may recall on the last show I talked about the Fetish and Fantasy Ball.
Yes, what's going on with that?
So I did go to that.
What was that like?
So it's pretty big. Like, they have it at the Hard Rock, and it's the way it's portrayed, like in the advertising, it's like it's this very risque thing, but it's really not that risque.
Okay.
And they have a lot of rules, like no body paint, and you can't take it too far. I mean, yes, there were quite a few hot women in skimpy outfits, but there were a lot of other people that just like wore very minimal costumes. Like they got like a doctor's, what do they call those blue things a doctor wears?
A lab coat?
Yeah, like a lab coat,
okay.
Or something simple like that.
Okay.
And there were all these different rooms.
Scrubs.
Yes, scrubs.
Scrubs.
Yes, and there were various different rooms that played different kinds of music. And
so was it like walking down Las Vegas Boulevard or Fremont Street where you have the women in the pasties and the really scantily outfits?
They probably wouldn't have allowed anyone to. No.
Really? That was more scandalous?
Yeah, you'll see more on Fremont Street.
Oh, wow. Wow, okay.
But to be honest, a lot of those girls on Fremont Street that do that, you kind of don't want to, aren't like...
You don't want to...
Well, they're not like Playboy model material.
Yeah, that is true. I have been on Las Vegas Boulevard and seen those women, and I swear to God, some of those women should really rethink their career choices, because they do not have the body for it. Like, really, you're going to be wearing that, and you've got whoop, 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 whoop. I mean, maybe if you were woo, then that would be cool. But when you're whoop, 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 no, not cool. Not cool. No, not cool.
I love the way you put that.
It's the only way I could describe it.
Yeah, so I would say that they probably most people were probably in their 20s, and to be perfectly honest with you, it was not my cup of tea.
Okay.
Even in my 20s, I probably wouldn't have. I don't really like loud events like that.
Did you wear a costume?
I went in the same priest outfit that I wore last time here.
You went in a priest outfit?
Yeah.
What did they say?
Well, I went there hoping to kind of pretend to be a priest the whole time and take confessions and
awesome.
Lead people through the Hail Mary and the Our Father. But it was so loud that you couldn't really have a good conversation. But what few times I could speak to someone like the Lyft driver there and things like that, I would say, while you have a priest in your car, is there anything you would like to get off your chest, my son? Any confession you would like to make? And the most common response was something to the do you have all day?
Oh man, that's so funny. That is awesome.
Yeah.
So was there anything to do there, or was it just you go and you see the goods and everything, like people?
There was one room where there was dancing, and there was another room where there was a stage, and I guess it was kind of a bondage stage where
they had actual bondage stuff on there.
Yeah, but it was very tame.
Oh,
there was one person giving spankings, but they weren't very hard. And
wait a minute, how do you know that bondage spankings are hard? Just curious.
You can tell by the length of the paddle, the weight of it, and how hard it swung.
I love how you have the details to this. That
Well,
makes
it's
it even
pure
better.
physics. It's weight,
I love that.
weight times acceleration. Yeah.
That is so cool.
Have you ever had a spanking at the Hofbrau house?
Yes.
You did?
I went to their, I didn't eat anything, and they were upset about that, so they gave me a spanking for not ordering, and then I was trying to tell them, I can't, because, I got celiac, so, it's a whole beer place. I can't have anything in there. They wouldn't listen. They told me to get up, and they gave me a spanking anyway, because I had to eat, and I wasn't eating, so they spanked me.
Well, just when I thought you couldn't get any cooler, you took a spanking. I totally...
They did
You
it
earned
hard.
just even more points.
They don't do it easy
And you
down
don't
there.
see
It's
very many
hard.
women taking the spankings. It's like 90% men.
Yep, all men. Yep.
Yep.
Nope.
And it's...
Hard.
Yeah, I took one too. I mean, it's a really long paddle.
Yeah,
So
and they really go
right,
at it.
Yes. So like I said, it's force equals mass times acceleration. And it's a really long paddle, and they stand pretty far away, so it's like a baseball bat.
Yep.
But the time it hits your ass, it's going fast.
Yep, and they're not doing it like, just pat. No,
Yeah,
they're like
no.
actually
No,
whack.
it stings.
Yeah, it hurts.
But the funny thing is that the pain doesn't hit you until like a few seconds later.
Yeah.
That wasn't so bad.
When you're sitting down on
Oh,
your
yeah,
butt
it was.
afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, if you want to get spanked, go to the Hoffman House. Is that right? Hofbrau House.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And that's right diagonal from the Hard Rock. So
Yep. Kitty
Yep.
corner.
kitty corner. Yep.
Do you call it kitty corner or catty corner?
Kitty corner.
Me too.
Cool.
Yes. It sounds better.
Yes. Awesome.
All right. Let's see what the audience has to say.
Sounds
and while you
good.
check, let me get my notes.
Okay, sounds good. So let's see what you guys are saying. Let's check out your questions. Let's see if there's anything down here that we can, ask. Okay, we got one. Ha! Tyrone says, when you got wop, 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 rethink your career choices, LOL. I love that. Yes! Awesome.
Wop, wop,
Wop,
wop.
wop, wop.
What was the game show where they did that?
Wasn't that, the one with the furry brown guy, right? The furry, brown animal, and then it went around the board.
Yeah.
The whammies. Was it whammy? Whammies. Whammy. I think that's it. Wasn't it? Maybe not. Do you guys know what we're talking about?
Was that Press Your Luck? Jinx, buy me a Coke.
Wait, why do I have to buy you a
Because
Coke?
we said the exact same thing at the same time, and because I said, Jinx, buy me a Coke, you're not allowed to talk until you buy me a Coke. But what are we going to do? We're in the middle of a show. Do you have a Coke? Give me something else. Yes, that is the rules of Jinx. If you say something at the same time with someone else, the first person to say, Jinx, buy me a Coke, that person cannot speak until they buy you a Coke. But, okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to accept this temporarily. But this will buy you 24 hours, but you still need to buy me a Coke.
Okay, but at least I could talk for the live stream now.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes, this will be like a live stream exception to the Jinx rules.
Okay, cool.
Okay, but you still need to buy me a Coke.
Okay, deal.
Is that how you play Jinx, audience?
Yeah, how do you play? Go ahead, put it in the comments. Let's hear it. I remember when, you remember the bugs, how we used to have the bugs, and if you saw a bug, you would say, bug, and then you'd, punch the shoulder. Bug.
I never liked that.
No, you didn't like that?
No, because a lot of boys did that just as an excuse to punch you hard.
Yeah, but then they didn't like it when I punched them. I'd be like, bug, why'd you do that? Well, you just did it to me. Why'd you think? Bug. Oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I didn't like that game.
Was there any of those games from childhood that you did like? Like Cat's Cradle, or maybe something with hands?
So the Cat's Cradle is with the yarn, right?
The yarn, right. And then you had to...
It was not very manly for boys to play
true.
that.
That's a
but
good
nevertheless, I did kind of like it.
Yeah? Awesome.
It was hard to find a partner to play it with, but I did like that. What was the other one you mentioned?
It was the one with the hands.
Patty cake?
Not there was a bunch of them with the hands. The one that I did, it wasn't patty cake. It was something different. It was, and the only way I could think of doing it is actually doing it and singing it. I don't know if you want me to do that.
I do.
You do?
Yes,
Really?
yeah.
Oh, goodness. Okay. So this is how it goes. I used to do this in high school all the freaking time. Let me see if I can remember this. Miss Susie had a steamboat. The steamboat had a bell beam beam. Miss Susie went to heaven. The steamboat went to hello, operator. Please give me number 9. And if you disconnect me, I'll kick you right behind the refrigerator. There laid a piece of glass. Miss Susie sat upon it and broke her lil. Ask me no more questions. Tell me no more lies. The boys are in the bathroom, zipping up. The flies are in the forest. The bees are in the hive. The boys and girls are kissing in the D-A-R-K, D-A-R-K, D-A-R-K. Dark as a movie, dark as a show, dark as a video. I know my ma. I know my pa. I know my sister with the 80-acre bra. My ma is Godzilla. My dad is King Kong. My sister is the idiot who made me sing this song.
You knew it perfectly, word for word.
I used to sing it all the time when I was in high school. That was like my favorite thing. And they have to do this thing with the hands and everything while you're doing it, and you try to do it really fast. And I would do that all the freaking time with my friends. All the time. Was there anything like that you did when you were at school?
Being kind of a math geek, I'm trying to remember. At the elementary school where I went to school, Weaver Elementary, go Beavers. There were like
Beavers.
Hedges like around the edge, and like me and some friends like made a fort.
Oh, cool.
And so we would always like go to our fort during lunch.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
And yeah, high school I wasn't like terribly active. I just, my circle of friends, we would just sit there on the grass and chat, maybe play a card game.
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
Like would it be a blackjack game, or would it be a card game like bridge or something?
Like bridge or something. But once I started computers, once I took my first computer programming class, which they had just started, that was like a life-changing experience, and I was immediately like a computer geek, and
so
I would spend
cool.
every lunch after school in the computer lab, and you always saw the same faces every time.
That is cool.
So yeah.
What were you doing? Were you like calculating math, or were you actually like making like
Just
what were you
making
doing?
programs,
Oh, cool.
like finding prime numbers, stuff like that.
That's so cool.
I just loved it. I just knew it was my calling, and look where I am now.
Yep. I love that. That's a good story.
Okay, so let's see. Any good questions, comments from the audience?
Let's see. So, Lucas, that question you asked before about the 13 game, we'll check that out. Ask us on the next one. I think by then you should have enough time to like look it up and everything. We just don't know the answer for you at this moment. And then the next question is spanking formula E equals MC squared. I love that. Spanking formula. Okay.
That's actually the theory of relativity, right? Is that what they call it?
E equals MC squared?
It
Yeah,
means,
theory of relativity.
yeah, energy equals mass times the speed of light squared.
Yeah, but then you have the two theories of relativity. So you have the special theory and the general theory. Do you know the difference between the two? Really? Do you want me to tell you?
Yes.
Yes, I love this stuff. Okay, so special theory of relativity is the really interesting one where it talks about time travel. And what this is telling you is perspective is different depending on where you are, the space, and then the time. So, for example, your perspective on the ground as the train is passing you is different than the perspective of the person on the train passing you.
Yeah.
And that has a lot to do with like the time factor, because time is different depending on the perspective. And that is the reason why when you look up in the sky and you're looking up at the stars, you're actually looking at different variations of the past depending on where you look. So it's like time travel when you look up at the sky. That's special theory of relativity. General theory of relativity is cool too, because they talk about the mass and also how objects are affected by the mass. So for example, the Earth is in the center of let's just say the Earth is in the center. It is sitting on something called space-time fabric. It's like a fabric of space-time. And then objects such as the moon rotate around the Earth depending on the fabric that they're sitting on. One example of the fabric of space-time is when you're looking in a telescope and you're looking out in space, you sometimes see those rings of light. That's actually light being bent by gravity, and that's what creates the rings of light. And that's when you're looking at a star and the star's light has to like go through certain planets that have gravity, and that like bends the light. So general theory of relativity has to do with the space-time fabric as well as mass and how objects are affected by that. I really like science. Like,
yeah, I knew those theories. I just forgot what they were titled.
Yeah, and this is something I could talk about like probably all day, so I'll try not to bore people. But
Do you lean more towards string theory or quantum loop gravity?
Quantum loop gravity.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yay!
Awesome. Well, string theory is a good theory, but yeah, the quantum theory. I mean, especially with quantum computing, because they're using it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like that type of theory. They're actually putting some of that theory into practice with the quantum computers. Okay, I'm gonna just go off here.
Yeah, I can't explain it well enough to.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
Yeah, we should talk about it off the show sometime because I think we'll just embarrass ourselves if we
just
try
talk
to address
forever.
it now.
Okay, so...
But one thing I want to talk about is I wanted to give praise to the Rampart Casino because a few weeks ago I found an expired Super Bowl ticket in my drawer. And I think they go 120 days there. So I brought it in like 5 months expired. And I thought that they would say, okay, mail it in, which I hate to do because you got to put it in the mail. Maybe it'll get lost. I don't want to wait forever to get paid. But, not only did but they actually like took it and the manager like went to a computer and I don't know what she pressed, but I'm sure that she could see that my bet won and they paid me immediately.
Wow, that's really cool.
Right, and as opposed to most places, some will actually not pay you, which totally sucks, and I would not patronize any casino that does not honor a winning bet, expired or not. Same thing for slot tickets, but most places will make you mail it in.
Now,
which is a pain.
Yeah, but with the expiration, isn't the whole point of the expiration so that casinos don't have to pay that money out and then they save on that money? Like, that's the whole point of the expiration? It's just another form of them getting more money or increasing their profits based on certain policies and procedures?
Right, and to their credit, most of them will honor an expired ticket, but I think they're hoping people will take home these tickets, forget about it, and then they see in their, wallet, oh, here's this expired ticket. It expired, throw it away.
Yeah.
In fact, I don't remember exactly, but I think something like 20% of sportsbook profits come from tickets that are never cashed.
And that's the whole reason why you saw a transition between the slot machines that would accept coins versus the slot machine that had tickets for that reason. People thought, if they have a ticket for 2 pennies or 3 pennies, they're going to throw it away versus, or however much it is. And they make more money because of the tickets.
Yeah. Well, I think they also like them because the coin machines required a lot more hand pays and they were running out of coins and they were much more manually intensive and more subject to breaking down. So I think the casinos like them because they're faster and more dependable.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Cool. Oh, but here's another rant. Gift cards.
Yes.
I think those are kind of a scam.
They are.
And I think this because a lot of people forget, lose them. They forget to use them. They can expire. And I have a stack of gift cards like this high in my office. And and let's say I have a Lowe's one. Every time I go there, I forget to bring it. So, and sometimes they can't be read anymore. Like I had an Adidas gift card someone gave me for $300. And then I just years later, I went to the Adidas store here and they just wouldn't read it. They just couldn't read it. And then I said, well, what can I do about this? And they gave me a phone number to call. And I called this number and it just rings and rings and rings. And you can never get anyone's attention.
That sucks.
Yeah. So, and I heard a statistic once, and it's similar to the one with the sportsbook, is something like 15% of gift cards never get redeemed. Yeah. So that's why these stores love to sell them. Yeah. And furthermore, I think it's kind of lazy to give someone a gift card as a gift. I mean, it's like saying I am too lazy to search for a gift for you personally. And furthermore, if you're going to be lazy, at least be honest about it, and why not just give cash?
Thank
That's
you.
like a gift card to anywhere.
Thank you. Yes, that's what I agree with you completely on that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And then another thing too, why gift cards are a scam is how many times do you know people actually using the exact amount that's on the gift card?
Mm-hmm.
They're either going to use less, and then the company gets that extra money,
Mm-hmm.
or they have to go over, and then they're paying more money anyway, so they get more money anyway.
Yeah, it's like you're like forced to go over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or lose the money if you
Right.
go under.
Yeah. I mean, I will, when I remember to use one, I will usually buy something that's more than the value just so I can get the full value.
Yeah.
But I will say that maybe there's some exceptions, like Teacher Appreciation Day, where you have to give the teacher something, and how do you know what this person wants?
Yeah, it's totally
Yeah.
different if you're not that familiar with the
Mm-hmm.
person, then yeah, that's completely different. But
Mm-hmm.
if you're like, you've been friends with them for, a ton of
Yeah.
time, and you know them really well, and you
Mm-hmm.
know they like this, and this, and then you get them a gift card for that? Come on, really? Like, were you really that much in a rush? And I agree with you. If you're going to do a gift card, just give them the cash.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think with the gift cards, it's like one of those things where I don't want to give you cash. I want to make sure you're spending that money on something that I approve. That's how I feel when people give me that. It's like, I'm not going to give you the cash because I don't know how you're going to spend it, but I'll give you the gift card because I know you're going to spend it on this certain thing.
And to be honest, they have a point, because if you give someone cash, it's just going to get like pooled into their general money and just kind of, they're not going to like say, oh, I am buying this item because someone gave me this money,
Right.
and this is my gift. No,
Yeah.
it's just going to get
It's like a
mixed in the
Starbucks
water.
here,
Yeah.
a taco
Yeah.
here,
Right.
let's buy this one little thing that I don't need.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So to play the devil's advocate, like I could see like someone giving a gift card to a particular place, like that maybe sells luxury items, and to someone who normally wouldn't buy something for themselves there. So maybe something like that. Or they might say, there is this particular thing I recommend you buy. Here's a gift card to the store where they sell it. But then why don't you just get the item yourself?
Yeah, because then that's lazy. We're
Yeah.
going back to the whole lazy part of it.
Yeah.
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 I don't know how we came up on this.
All right. Well, I think it came up from the Rampart story.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So do you want to do another one on your sheet, or should we go through here and see if anyone has any questions?
Okay. Well, let's do a question from my forum.
Okay.
So someone commented that on November 9th, the past one we just had, I think on Saturday or Sunday, was the 10-year anniversary of the Wizard of Vegas.
Oh, cool.
And it says right on the main page that it was founded on November 9th, 2009.
Oh, that's so
And
cool.
so a lot of people said happy anniversary on the site, and I didn't address it at all. So someone said make a speech. So
Speech.
okay, I didn't plan what I was going to say, but to tell a little about the site. Before the Wizard of Vegas, I got bombarded with gambling questions by email from all over the world, and a lot of the questions were stuff that could be found on the website. And as much as I would like to be, I can't be the personal gambling coach to the whole world.
Right.
So and this was when, by the way, the Wizard of Oz was being quite financially successful, and I thought, well, I'll just make another website and have twice as much money. So I thought, so that was kind of a combination of the reasons. So and when I first started it, I thought the emphasis was going to be also on hotel reviews and being a whole Vegas user guide. And what it's kind of morphed into is primarily the forum. But the forum has definitely served its purpose, is giving people a place to ask their gambling questions. And fortunately, I have a lot of really smart people on the forum that have been really good about answering questions from the beginners. And I pick and choose the good questions to ask on the Ask the Wizard column. So I'm really proud that it has fostered this whole community, and a lot of friendships in real life have formed through getting to know each other on the Wizard of Vegas. And there's a whole circle of Wizard of Vegas friends here in Vegas. And I can't say for sure if maybe they would have been friends anyway. I'm not sure. But no, I'm really proud of the website, and I think it's a good website. And so, yeah, that's kind of the story behind it. So
that's really cool.
Yeah.
Now, I know I'm not much of a forum person, so but I know going on your forum a few times, it's amazing. You get like 15, 20 pages of people talking. There's so many people on there. Like, everybody knows the forum, and it is such a really great place to ask your questions if you have any gambling questions. And I'm just really amazed at the community that has gathered around, and it's been really fun to see how it's evolved.
Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of people who are very active on it, and I think that it's an important part to a lot of people's lives. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that have posted over 10,000 posts. So
are you one of them?
Probably, but it's kind of my job to participate.
Right.
The biggest headache has been policing it, because there have been a lot of trolls and semi-trolls, and anytime you punish someone, it usually starts a controversy, like, how come you suspended this person for that and not that person for the same thing, or something worse?
I remember when I was your email assistant, and I would get your emails, and I swear to God I would get these emails. They were a book. Literally, this person would write a book about why he what happened, why he was banned, why he shouldn't have been banned, you should put me back on, and none of it was nice. It's not like, oh, please put me... No, it was like he was rude, or they were rude, and they were like, you need to do this, and you need to do that, and I'm entitled, and blah blah blah, and I'm thinking, okay, delete. He doesn't need to see that. Delete. We're just going to move this over here. He does not need to waste his time with that.
But now I do.
Now you do.
Right, but fortunately there are some other moderators.
Good.
And they do a good job, and they get some of these complaints.
Good.
So the work is divided between more people.
Good.
But
the rants you get, I mean, seriously, like, people are just ranting. It's not even like good, excuses or reasons. They're just, and they're calling you names, and they're saying, oh my God, people, really?
You need
serious?
to have a thick skin to run a forum. But just this morning, I got an email from someone who's currently on suspension, and I hope he doesn't mind me saying it's an attorney, and he just went through this lengthy argument, just probably would be like 3 or 4 pages worth all these quotations and screenshots, and his basic argument was what I said before, that other people have done worse stuff than me and didn't get suspended, and he showed tons of examples. And the allegation was that the other moderator was biased, and people, this is just an internet forum, and it's so easy to not have this problem. Just be nice.
Yeah, or make a new name, right? A new account.
Well, you're
not supposed to.
Yeah, that's strictly against the rules.
Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. But shall we say it's not that technically difficult to break that rule?
I mean, like, seriously, I'm not going to go into it. But if you're nice, it's not a big deal, right?
Yes, like, is Miplet here?
Yes.
Miplet is one of my best members, and he has never even gotten a warning.
Miplet. Yep.
So Miplet is like the perfect example. Like, just don't call people's names. Don't insult people. What is so complicated?
Be nice.
Yeah. Just like, remember what your kindergarten teacher would have said. Just play nicely.
Sometimes I wonder if those people out there had that kindergarten teacher. You know what I mean? With the way that people act nowadays. It's like, really? Do you know the golden rule? Have you heard that before? I don't think they have. It might be just Las Vegas.
Just be nice. Keep your hands to yourself. What's so complicated?
Do you think that Las Vegas attracts seedier, less seedier type of people?
Yes, I think it attracts kind of rude people.
Yeah.
And it's hard to explain. I mean, there's rude people everywhere, but you just see... I mean, this is kind of a transient town. And there's a lot of people that come here to live for a few years, and they think, I'm not going to set down roots here. I'm not going to, and so they're just jerks, But people should be nice All
Yeah.
the time. Like, if I went someplace to live for just a year, I would still be nice to people.
I wonder sometimes if the people that move here and live here for a year, the reason why is because they move here, they live here for a year, and they're like, oh my God, it's full of like mean people and rude people. I'm getting out of here. Like, that's what I think. And then they move out. Like, they realize what kind of, town this is.
But, then they just make the problem worse.
Because they leave?
Well, no, by saying, I'm not going to be nice to people because
Oh.
other Vegas people are jerks.
Yeah.
But, why don't you be nice, and maybe it would...
Make it better.
Yeah, pass it on. Make things better. Yeah. All right.
Okay,
so... Any comments, questions from the audience?
Let me see. So Tyrone says, any newer casino games we should be on the lookout for to either play or avoid?
That's a good one, and I actually have come prepared with an answer.
Oh, cool.
There are currently 4 field trial games in Las Vegas right now, and let me list them. One of them is Quick Pay 21. That is at the Planet Hollywood. And the thrust of this game is, it's blackjack, but if, let's say you have a 20, you can immediately win like half your bet amount and call it done. And I think a 19 is a push, or things like this. And you can also make these what are called hedge bets, where you can make bets that the dealer will get any given final total according to his up card, and there's a screen that shows what odds you get. The odds are terrible, by the way, but that's Quick Pay 21.
Before we move on, so what do you think of it? So the odds are terrible, but is it fun to play? Do you think it's going to,
I have a little conflict of interest in answering that one, because the guy who invented it is a friend of mine.
Okay.
So I hate to put down his game. I will say that it probably could have been simplified, where the way he did it is you start by making 2 equal bets, and if you don't take a quick pay, then they get joined together. I think that the quick pays could have just been based on 1 bet rather than 2. But it's I would say it's not one of the best ideas I've ever seen, but it's not one of the worst. It's somewhere in the middle there. Okay, another one is called Paris Poker, which can be played at, of course, the Paris. And this follows a Caribbean stud kind of razor fold structure. And the thrust there is that you get 5 cards, and you can basically throw one away and get a joker instead. So it may as well have been like, you get, no, that's not the same. Yeah, you throw a card away, and the dealer, it gives you a joker, but they don't give you a physical joker, it's just understood. And then it's you against the dealer. So, I'm not real crazy about jokers in casino games, so...
Well, I'm thinking of a couple in particular, but aren't a few games out there based on jokers?
Well, certainly Pai Gow Poker is a successful game, and that uses a joker. And but I don't like it when new games use a joker. I think that it just makes the strategy messier, and I just like like when you play poker with friends, you don't put a joker in the deck. You just play Texas Hold'em or whatever. Like, you never see a joker used in a poker room.
Yeah.
So for that same reason, I don't like them in poker-based games.
Besides carnival games, because there's so many carnival games out there, is Pai Gow Poker the only game that uses a joker?
Certainly the only popular one. Like, there's a game at the Suncoast called... I think it used to be called Poker with a Joker, but they changed the name to Wild 5-Card Stud or something like that. Okay. And that game is doing well, but it's just... And it has some placements in Reno. So, and again, I'm a little bit of a conflict of interest there because I'm friends with the owner. But there's a game with a joker that's doing fairly well, but I just personally don't like them.
You're friends with like almost all of the table game inventors.
That's true. Like I have some sort of connection to practically anyone who's invented a table game.
Yep.
And I'm sure you have too.
I'm getting up there.
Yeah.
So was that all of the games?
No, there's also Jackpot Hold'em at the Sahara, and I'm analyzing that now, and that is like Ultimate Texas Hold'em, but the big raise can only be for 3 times the ante, but they expose one of the flop cards before you before you make the big raise decision.
Okay.
So that's requiring a lot of computer time to cycle through, doing it now.
Okay.
And the fourth one I haven't seen yet. I just heard about it, I think, yesterday or the day before, about a game at the Venetian called Three Pictures or something like that. And I think this is some sort of an Asian game. Don't know much about it yet.
Okay.
So, but I'm going to check it out tomorrow, and we'll write about it on my forum.
Awesome. Looking forward to it.
Yep, so there's my report of the new games in Vegas.
Very cool. Okay, so let's see what else is being asked. What else are you guys saying on here? So Kenny says, it looks like 000 roulette is here to stay. At what point do you think we should see the first quadruple zero roulette game to hit the strip?
Oh, boy. I think it'll eventually happen, sadly. I mean, 000 is already at 7.89% house advantage, which is way up there.
Yeah.
But...
So if they added a 4-0, would it be around 9% house advantage?
I didn't bring my calculator, but it would be exactly 10%.
Oh,
right?
okay.
Wouldn't it? Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I'm just asking.
Yeah. It would be exactly 10% because there's like 4 losing numbers out of 40.
Okay.
Yeah. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. That'll be embarrassing.
40 numbers?
Yeah, because there's a 36 regular numbers and then 4 zeros.
Yeah. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
But 000 is still kind of young. I will say that in about 10 years we'll see a quadruple zero.
Okay. You know what's really crazy is I'm walking through a casino and I see a 000 roulette game and I see a 0 roulette game.
And more people will be playing the 000.
What the heck is
even
up
if
with
it's
that?
at the same limit?
Yes. Like the 000 roulette game is full of people, and then the 0 roulette game has one person on it.
I think these people think that the more zeros, the better their chances are.
There you go. That's it.
I mean, I can see it if the minimum at 0 is too high.
Mm-hmm.
But you see it all the time where the limit is the same in 00 and 000 roulette, and there will be way more people playing the 000.
Yep. And they're even like next to each other. It's not like one's over here and then one's all the way in, they're right next to each other.
I just don't get it.
I don't either. Okay, let's see what else you guys are saying. Oh, Marvin. Okay. Oh, and hi, Jay. Good to see you.
Hey, Jay.
So Marvin says, Heather, you lost. El Cortez is between 6th and 7th on Fremont and Ogden.
I told you. But in all fairness, you corrected yourself by saying that it's only facing, looking towards.
It's not actually on Las Vegas Boulevard. But
yes.
it's that little walkway from El Cortez and Las Vegas Boulevard. I mean, you could see it. It's just a small little,
Just a short block.
Just a short little thing. Okay, So let's see what else you guys are saying. Dennis says, hey guys, any thoughts on Spanish 21 playing 3-2 versus blackjack paying 6-5 in terms of the more complex Spanish 21 rules? Any chance there is a simplified strategy for Spanish 21?
That's a good question. And one of my questions from the forum is about Spanish 21. So, if your choice is between 3-2 Spanish 21 and 6-5 blackjack, definitely play the Spanish 21.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
And the Spanish 21 strategy is on my website.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit more complicated than the blackjack one, and it is different. It calls for a lot more hitting.
Okay.
For example, any 12 and some 13s and even some 14s you'll hit. Mm-hmm. And the other players will want to kill you when you do that. And it's happened to me many times. But that's what the strategy calls for, because there's fewer 10s. The deck is more rich in small cards. Therefore, it's safer to hit.
Okay.
But yeah, depending upon the particular rules, Spanish 21 can be a better bet than blackjack.
Okay.
But the question that someone asked me on my forum was, Mike, you talked a lot about playing Spanish 21 when you lived in Baltimore. Why did you play? And the reason was that at that time in Atlantic City, everything paid 3-2, mm-hmm. Spanish 21 and blackjack. And also, I think both games you stood on a soft 17 still. So, when you factor in all the rules, Spanish 21 under the Atlantic City rules in the 1990s was a better bet than blackjack.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. That's why I played blackjack. I mean Spanish 21 instead of blackjack. And it was stressful for the reason I just said, is players just wanted to kill me when I would do things like hitting a 14 against a 2.
Okay.
So
I bet that was fun trying to explain that to them.
I learned to not even try.
Wait, did you ever, I'm just curious, did you ever say, look, I'm the Wizard of Oz. I know what I'm talking about.
No, I never play that card.
No?
No, I will usually say something like, if you don't like how I play, there's plenty of other tables.
Right on.
I might say I was here first if I was here first. How do you even know what the right play is?
Yeah.
Things like that.
That's a good point. I got a question. So I got this in an email earlier today, and I thought that was pretty interesting. Is there anything going on in Las Vegas right now? There seems to be a lot of AP people in town, and I was wondering if there was like a event going on.
It's funny you mentioned that. There is, I forgot her name, but there is someone who has a YouTube channel called like the AP Woman or something.
Oh, okay.
And I think that she is having like an AP
event workshop.
Yeah, workshop.
Okay.
Lessons.
Do you know where? Like, is it on a strip or is it like local casinos?
I just don't know. They're very secretive, and this woman does not show what she looks like.
Oh,
and like
okay.
pictures of her, like she will Photoshop like a happy face over her real face, things like that.
Okay.
But
cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But how do you know there's a lot of AP Advantage players in town?
I got an email this morning. That's why I was wondering.
Okay.
I'm like, I don't know. But yeah, so I was just curious.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, next questions. Let's see here. So, Tyrone says, Heather and Mike, what is your favorite coop and favorite competitive board game? So, favorite cooperative board game and favorite competitive board game.
Yeah, we're both board game people.
Yeah.
What does he mean by a cooperative game?
Well, I think with that, it's more like a video game term because you have the cooperative games where it's actually, so it'd be me and you and we would be playing together, sort of like bridge. We would be on a team and we'd be playing against other people. So cooperative is us working together.
Could you say Pictionary is a cooperative game?
Yes, like that's a cooperative game.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I do like Pictionary.
Uh-huh.
I think I'm a pretty good drawer. And
I want to play Pictionary with you now.
We should.
That'd be cool.
We just need to find 2 more players.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, Pictionary. I like Apples to Apples.
Okay.
Just fun, like family games like that. Party games. Party games is a good term.
Party games.
But I also like the more serious games like chess and Risk, things like that.
Awesome.
But yeah. Sadly, once you start down the family life path, you don't have so much time for things like board games anymore.
That's a good point.
And these young people don't seem to like them.
I noticed that. Yeah, it's like they look at you like you're crazy for wanting to play a board game.
Yeah, when they're, I have so many games on my iPhone.
Yeah.
No, it's different to play it with real human beings and yeah.
I think board games are going to go the way of bridge, where a certain generation plays it and then the younger generations don't. I think that's what's happening with board games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sad.
It is.
But what games do you like?
My favorite board game is a competitive. So I like Fireball Island. Fireball Island came out in the 80s. It's an old game. I don't know if we played it.
I've never even heard of it.
Oh, I should show it to you. I have it. I should show it to you. It's really fun. You're playing on an island. You're trying to get the jewel and then get off the island before people get you. And if you get the jewel, everyone's chasing after you to get the jewel from you.
Uh-huh.
And as you're going through there, if you roll a 1, then that means that a fireball comes out and you can hit like a fireball in any of the areas. And if the fireball rolls off and hits your game piece, then you move to like a pit and then you lose a turn. And everyone's trying to get to the boat to get off the island to win. And the cool thing is there's caves. So if you go in a cave and then you roll the dice, you could go in like a cave all the way over here on the other side of the board. And it's really fun. It's really, really cool.
Did you ever play Settlers of Catan?
Yeah, I did. I'm not good at that. I know I'm not good at that.
For a while I really liked it, but then it got to a point like in Risk where everyone kind of played the same way, and it just kind of turned into just a game of luck.
Yeah. Do you ever play board games online?
I played Monopoly online, and on my forum we used to play Clue online.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, in fact, Miplet here right now made the whole interface for it.
Oh, wow,
he did a
that's
great
really
job.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah, and we would take turns playing. But again, the problem there was it eventually turned into just a game of luck because people basically played the same way, and it was kind of like there was a certain point when there was enough information to make an accusation, and just whose turn it was at that point would probably win. Or it happened all the time, like you were in a situation like I might have a 1 in 4 chance of making a right accusation right now, but I have only a 1 in 10 chance of it getting back to my turn. Therefore, you just have to take a shot with a random accusation.
That makes sense.
So yeah.
I got another question off topic.
Mm-hmm.
Percentage-wise, how many people have you met from your forum? Because I know that you do like a yearly or bi-yearly meeting with people on your forum. So percentage-wise, how many of those people on your forum do you think you've met in real life?
Well, there's so many forum members, and a lot of them, have not. Members? I don't remember off the top of my head, but a lot of them, only posted a small number of times and then vanished. So I don't really would call them an active member.
Okay.
So I'd rather just give you a number. Is I've probably met, I don't know, 200 forum members.
Okay, cool. That's a good amount.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
Cool. Okay, so let's see if anyone has any other questions. And again, if I missed your question, my apologies. So Lucas says, do you think Circus Circus is going to be the next in line to be imploded? And right under that, Mr. Chad says, is Vegas taking bets on which casino is going to be demolished next?
They are not doing that, and I don't think they legally could because there's too many people with inside information.
Yeah.
Okay, contenders might be the Tropicana.
Really?
And I know they have spent a lot of money on remodeling, but that is such a valuable spot, and it still seems kind of run down to me.
Well, when they remodeled their casino area, right? So they didn't really remodel the rooms.
I haven't stayed there, so I don't really know what they look like.
I didn't stay. My friend stayed in a room a while ago, years ago, and it was so awful. Really bad. I mean, it looked like it came from the 70s. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it wasn't that great. I don't know if they've redone the rooms since then, but I wasn't impressed when I was there. And it's those rooms where it's facing the outside, it's those old motels where you have the door on the outside, and it's I don't like that very much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's a contender. What else is really old?
Not old, but maybe the Rio. Maybe. I hope not, because I like the Rio. But
no.
Maybe.
It's still not that old, and I think it does well. And I know Caesars just sold it, and they're still going to manage it.
Oh, they are?
So,
okay.
But I'm sure the new owner wouldn't have bought it if they planned to get rid of it.
Well, I know the Rio is going to at least be here until the summer of 2020, because I know the World Series of Poker is still going to have it at the Rio next year.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about the Star Trek convention. I think it'll be there, but I know 2020 it should still be there.
Yeah, but if you put a gun to my head and made me predict the next casino on the Strip to be imploded, I would go with Circus Circus.
Okay.
But then on the other hand, it's really not in a very good location anymore, and so why implode it? Because I don't think anyone would want to build anything really nice in that spot because of the location. So
my money is on Circus Circus because the Treasure Island owner just bought Circus Circus. So I would think that would be imploded next.
Yeah, I mean,
it's run down.
Yeah,
I mean, I know it's a moneymaker. Technically, it brings in a lot of money. But it's run down. They don't really do anything with the property. They don't update the property. And oh my God, is that property filled with kids. Holy cow, the amount of kids.
And they're all screaming.
They're all screaming. All of them. It's oh my God, get me out of here.
Yeah, but I think Circus will last at least 10 more years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Next question?
Yes.
Okay, next question. Next question is, let's see. Do you... Okay, well, we got a couple ones. So, are you going to, is there going to be an update in your poker app anytime soon, is one question. And the other question is, when do you plan on releasing the next review for your website?
Review of what?
Anything, I guess. He just said review.
Well, I review stuff all the time.
When's your next update?
The sites get updated constantly. Yeah. What was the first question?
They're having a problem with your poker app, and they were wondering if, like, you were gonna do an update on it.
Please email me, contact me with what the alleged bugs are. But it seems to work okay with me. I don't hear that many complaints about it.
Okay, what email what's your email so they can send you an email?
Boy, I hate to broadcast it.
Okay. How can they get a hold of you?
Okay, here's how you can get a hold of me. Go to Wizard of Odds, click Contact, and then select I have a comment for the wizard. I have an error report. I don't remember what it says.
And it's a form
but file it that way.
Okay.
And it'll get to me.
Okay. And contact is at the bottom of the page.
Yeah.
So go all the way to the bottom of the page and you'll see contact.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, next question. A lot of people commenting. Oh, wow, you guys are just having a whole conversation without us. Okay, so Matthew says, I recently started making a living from gambling, been doing it for over a year, left my job about 6 months ago to go full-time. I am UK-based, and everything I do is online. Do you have any communities that you recommend?
Not really.
No?
How
do you feel, what is your opinion on gambling full-time as a full-time job?
Certainly people do it. I think it's a tough job.
Yes.
I think a lot of people are not successful doing it.
I think they don't realize how tough it's going to be.
Yeah.
Like, they go in and they think, oh, I'm just going to play a game and that's going to be my job.
like on Rain Man.
Yeah, but they don't realize like how stressful and how difficult and how many hours you have to put into it.
Yeah, I mean, for a lot of people, it's just grinding a really thin advantage. Mm-hmm. So you have to put in tons of hours, deal with all the volatility, and it's a lonely life, and it definitely has its cons, and
you don't always win. So there's going to be months where you lose because that's just the way things happen. And then what are you going to do with bills? What are you going to do with food? How are you going to pay? To live? Yeah,
I mean, I know a lot of advantage players, and none of them I would call really wealthy. I mean, they range from barely surviving to doing okay.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's only like maybe 3% of those type of people actually make a lot of money, actually do really well, and that type of a thing.
Yeah, it is tough.
Yeah.
So, but getting back to the UK guy, the problem with like online communities is no one wants to write about a really good play. So the way most people do it is you go to, say, a forum for gambling, say, in the UK, and you just try to find out who are the other advantage players, and you just try to make personal friendships with them.
That's good advice.
And I always say, whether an AP or not, to be a friend, to make a friend, you should be a friend. So, don't just ask someone you don't know, what are the best plays in London right now? Because why am I giving you a piece of my pie for nothing?
Right, because
you tell me something first.
They want to keep it secret.
Yeah, so it turns into an economy of sharing secrets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point.
So it's good to have secrets in your back pocket to share to get more.
It's hard to be friends with people in the AP community because I feel like a good portion of those people are sort of on the spectrum, So it might be a little more difficult to be social with them because of that reason.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. Be a friend. That's the first and most important thing.
Yep.
Completely.
We just seem to agree on almost everything.
That's why it's so much fun hanging out with you. That's why it's so enjoyable.
Absolutely.
Next question is...
Oh, and I see we're running low on time.
Oh, we are. Okay,
Yes.
let's see. Do you see any... Do you have your glasses on? No, you don't.
I brought
Okay.
my glasses.
Oh, cool.
Which I usually don't do.
Do you see anything you really want to answer?
Oh, somebody said hitting multi-card 17 versus ace gets evil looks. Absolutely. And it doesn't even need to be multi-cards. If you... Wait. No, I'm thinking of surrender. Yeah, in Spanish 21, if I remember correctly, you do hit 17 against an ace.
Okay.
But, yeah, that's as far as I'll take that comment.
Okay.
Um,
And did Faro ever make a comeback or reappear?
no.
Okay, no, it didn't come
Yeah,
back.
I think it's pronounced Pharaoh. And
Pharaoh?
no.
Okay. Are casinos in Las Vegas using CSM and blackjack more these days?
They certainly use either a CSM or an automatic shuffler, and yeah.
CSM is continuous shuffle
Yeah.
machine. That's what CSM is.
yeah, I would say about half of them do that.
I got a question.
Sure.
It seems like less casinos are offering handheld shuffle machines, and most of them are doing the continuous shuffle machine or a shuffle machine for the single or double deck.
Yeah.
Why is that? And then where could you go to find, does every casino have a handheld double deck game, or are they like going extinct and you can only find that at certain casinos?
I think a lot of places do have a handheld double deck game, and so those are not on a continuous shuffler.
Mm-hmm.
Those are
handheld shuffled.
Either a handheld or an automatic shuffler. But then again, automatic shufflers tend to be for 6 decks, so I guess those are still hand shuffled. And yeah, there's fewer of them. They have higher limits, but yes, there's definitely still double deck blackjack out there.
Okay, cool. And let's see.
Okay, just one or two more.
Vince says, Michael, that was an awesome answer for that UK guy. Be a friend and share secrets.
Thanks,
like that.
Vince. Yeah.
They really like that. So, let's see. We don't really see any more. A lot of you guys were doing comments and statements. I don't really see any more questions. We'll do one more question, and it's from Fredo. Fredo says, how do you calculate the house advantage on games? And then after that, I think we'll be good on questions.
Yeah, it really depends on the game.
Mm-hmm.
Some games, like blackjack, are really quite complicated and require lots of computer code. So games like that, especially poker-based games, involve just a lot of looping.
Some of the things that you take into account is the number of decks being used, the rules of the game, what the dealer does, what the players do. There's so many different factors that you have to take into account. Yeah. And do you normally plug it into a computer and have the computer do the math, or do you actually sit down and you figure out the house edge for games?
Well, like for a game, say like video poker, you have to it's basically a huge looping program. Is first you start with all 2.6 million ways the original cards come out, and then the 1.6 million ways the replacement cards can come out, and all 32 ways the hand can be played. So the slow way to do it would be to one at a time go through all 2.6 million initial hands, play it, see what would happen. All 32 ways you could play the hand. And by that, like let's say you throw away everything, you have to go through all 1.6 million ways. You could draw 5 cards out of the 47 left, and then you pick the best decision and then go on to the next hand. But that would take like days and days and days to do of computer time. So you have to write shortcuts. For example, there's only, I think, 135,000 some odd number of unique starting hands. And I could talk about this all day, but for simpler games like say craps or Keno where there's no decisions to be made, that's much easier and usually can be done purely mathematically.
Do you have a how-to article on your website on how people could do this? Because it sounds like you have enough to talk about and people are interested.
Well, I have a lot of pages like how to do Keno math and craps math. And I have pages on how to program video poker. So there's not like one single page how to analyze a casino game, but there's a lot of pages that help you with the math. Okay. And I have actually thought about writing a book on casino math. You
want to write a book right after your book is published?
Well,
you don't want to take a break.
Well, I would love to write the book. I think I could do a good job of it, but I don't think it would sell that well.
No, it would. Why
but
not?
How many people would really care?
Enough to buy.
Because 99% of the people would think, my math skills are not prerequisite to even understand what I'm talking about. And of the remaining 1%, probably half of them would be able to do it without my help. So there's such a small margin of people who would buy the book and benefit from it.
But the people who would buy it, the small margin, oh my God, you would be a god in their eyes.
Well, I do. I've always said, there's nothing wrong with being a god.
Wait, do you know the Ghostbusters line for that? Ray, when someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes.
Actually, someone asked me that the other day.
Really?
On Halloween. Remember, I was a priest?
Yeah.
And so a girl knocked on the door.
Was this okay, this wasn't at the Fantasy
No, this was
Fetish.
at my house.
Okay.
And I opened the door as, dressed as a priest, and she said, "Are you God?" But she didn't say it in a joking way, like she really, associated.
Did you
Not
say
like
yes?
This is how God dresses. No, I'm not going to lie to a little kid.
When someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes.
No, I said something like I work for God.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's a good answer.
All right, well, shall we call it a day?
Yep, let's call it a day.
Okay, thanks audience for showing up. Do you like my pie shirt?
Love the pie shirt. When can they expect to see you next time? When is gonna be your
Oh boy,
next
I'm always
live
answering
stream?
this question wrong. Like I say an answer and then I don't show up on that date. I'm trying to look at your calendar here.
So it's the 14th, and then next Thursday is the 21st, and then after that it's Thanksgiving on that Thursday after that.
Yeah, Thanksgiving is not going to be good.
No.
I think let's tentatively plan on the Thursday after Thanksgiving.
Okay, so
But
first week of December?
Yeah, I know I'm going to New York in early December, but I don't think
sounds
that
like
early.
fun.
It's a work assignment.
Oh, are you going to get at least a couple days to enjoy it?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to fly out on a Thursday. Friday I have to work, but the whole weekend I'll have available.
Good. I'm
So,
glad.
yeah.
Awesome.
So, okay.
Cool.
So, yes. So, thanks again, audience, and
Thank
I'll see
you.
you next time. Thanks,
Sounds
Heather.
good. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.